All right, camera speed.
Roll sound. Is it rolling?
Speed.
Scene 5J, scene 5H, scene 4C, scene 14A, scene 3B, scene 1C-2, scene 7C, scene 7D, scene 12E, scene 12B, scene 12D, scene 11A, scene 11B, scene 13F, take 2.
Action. Life Path is a spiritual film about reincarnation and reconnection with a loved one. Fia remembers her previous life, and in that life she died at age 8 in a fire. Her name was Rebecca, and it was partially her father's fault. And when she died, she came back and she had all these memories. And so now this is her journey after that life after death experience. And so her goal is to find him and to reconcile with him and reconnect.
Well, Fia is a reincarnated version of Rebecca 8 years after she died, and Fia has struggled through her her new life, and a lot of people didn't understand what she was going through, and she doesn't know what to do with, reuniting with her father again. But until she meets the Life Path group, and they support her, and she feels more open and confident about her goal to reunite with Phil.
That's why we're here. Welcome to Life Path.
My character's name is Alda, and she is the leader of the Life Path group. It is her whole role to help others as they begin to explore their paths and their previous life paths.
Alita is one of the older, she's been in the group a little bit longer. She remembers a lot of her past lives, and she's still burdened by the previous life where she had lost a baby, and then she's in the group specifically, or more specifically, to help her get through her most recent previous life where she's trying to find her brother, or come to terms with finding her brother.
I came up with the idea of Life Path about 2 years ago. It was December 2008, and when I first thought about it, it was a feature-length idea, and it was basically an idea of a support group for people who remember previous lives. That was the initial spark, and I was doing a thinking exercise of what haven't I seen in films lately, and so I was thinking mainly of lots of occult topics, and reincarnation was always a presence in our household. It wasn't something to be avoided, really. I was raised to believe in life after death, and it was never this weird thing. So that was always there, and I had never seen it in a lot of films, really. It was, lucky if it was even mentioned. So a film treated with an entire story around it really intrigued me.
I met Areya on the set of the traveling game, and she was so enthusiastic about it and really needed some help pulling this off. And so, of course, I was just attracted to her energy and her enthusiasm for the whole subject of her movie, and it was a great script, so I wanted to tag along for sure.
I met Areya in the spring, and she sent me the script, and I liked the concept and the flow of it and everything. I thought it was really good. And then we worked together on another film, The Traveling Game, and she was professional and fun to work with, so I thought it would be a good choice for a secondary project.
Fia really reminds me of myself, and I felt real comfortable playing the role because there were a lot of times in my life where I don't feel supported and I feel so alone and just locked up but I feel like I can go on, and with all the support I have from my family and my friends, that's how I can relate myself to Fia. So
I loved Alita's wisdom. You know, she's a young girl, but because she carries these past memories, I loved that she had this you know, wisdom, this old knowledge, and the script was beautiful. I thought it was a very fascinating concept, and was very keen to explore it more.
Well, it's my personal philosophy that there are a lot of things that are worse than death. And so that fit well with this particular film. Beyond that, it was the warmth both of the character and of the film itself, the positive nature of everything that was happening from it, and just that overall good feeling that went along both with reading the script and it was followed through on the set.
Production was surprisingly smooth. I had prepared for everything and everything with a backup plan, and because I wanted everything to go just right, and any little hiccups we had were easily overcome. And shooting itself was very enjoyable. It was very smooth. We made some movie magic.
You see, this is difficult, but I need to ask you. Did you have a daughter named Rebecca?
A challenge on Life Path was not so much stressful thing, but something that had to be done over and over again was just communicating with everyone. I mean, film is a communication art, and I set out at the very beginning to make sure that everybody always knew exactly what their job was, and nobody was ever left in the dark of what they needed to do, and getting back to everybody as fast as I could, and just emailing, texting, calling over and over again. It was a challenge, but it was a challenge in that I had to remember to do all of that, and especially in writing emails, we didn't have many problems on set. Anybody who maybe didn't show up on time or anything was made up with someone else. Someone else always stepped in to help in that position, because that's film, and show must go on.
Well, as an AD, of course, one of the hardest things is getting everyone on the right schedule, but still making sure that you don't sacrifice lighting setup or sound or rush people too much. And we did have an issue one day with the Steadicam not being rented for long enough and light disappearing and that sort of thing. But overall, I think it wasn't too challenging of a shoot because everyone was on top of things.
Pre-production, it went pretty smoothly. We hit a couple walls trying to get some people. We knew we were going to have trouble with the dead bird, so that proved a lot harder than expected. But at one point, I think I was going to grab a dead bird from one of my friend's grills of her car. There was a bird that flew into it. But luckily, we were able to make it work. We had an amazing makeup and special effects person, so she pulled it out for us.
I think the most challenging part was trying to relate to Alita's memory of losing a child, because obviously I've never done that. I've never had that kind of occurrence. So trying to get into that part of her head and figure out just how that would affect you and why, and you know how that carries over and the way you would say certain things and when that memory really comes to life. I think was the most challenging on trying to prepare and to get that across as honestly as I could.
When Fia had to go through, when she found out that Phil has sold the cafe and is about to move, and just imagining, like, I think it was probably just like Fia had so many thoughts like stirring through her mind that it's like, oh, should I go see him, or like, wait, what if he doesn't believe me? But well, everyone is backing me up, so that must have been the most difficult part.
Are you family or a friend?
Family.
Crew was great. Crew is always fun to be a part of. It's great getting all these talented people together who, a lot of whom are directors and writers themselves. And no matter what their position is, they're always dedicated. And I really couldn't be happier with our crew. They're all amazing artists, and I would not choose any other crew over SCAD's crew of artists here. We had some really talented people on our set. I was extremely lucky to have such a talented cast and crew who were dedicated to the story and dedicated to coming together to make something special. So it was a very lovely shoot to be on. Definitely my best.
I think Areya is a very good director. She's good at communicating and making sure the actors are all on the same page and everything before the scenes. And I think she really loved her script and her project, so she brought that passion to it.
Areya's energy is just unmatchable. She's so enthusiastic, and she really knows what she's talking about. And so you just wanna listen, and you wanna be around and understand.
She is so nice and so sweet, and she was like a mother to us all. She made us feel comfortable, and she got us going, and just really did a wonderful job with directing. And I'm just so glad to have a wonderful friend, and I'm so glad I got to know her.
Oh, she's terrific. In the first place, she's very generous, and in the second place, she's very accepting, and always very cautious. She knows what she wants, but at the same time, she's always managing to make sure that she's not stepping on your toes or hurting your feelings if she wants something slightly different than what you're portraying, or the set of jewelry that you've picked out, or whatever. It was wonderful.
She was wonderful because she really respected the actors and really took care of us, and that's one thing that I really appreciate, and has already given a rough copy of the DVD, which is also wonderful because I think that's, one thing that really also thanks the actors is, here's the work, congratulations.
The cast of Life Path is wonderful. I got them very early on at the casting call. Most of them came from the casting call. So many people auditioned, first of all. The audition was a tremendous success in that so many people auditioned, and I didn't get to sit down the whole day. And it was great to have so many people interested in the project to begin with, because then you're not as afraid that you're going to lose them. And they were wonderful, and they understood just by the synopsis that they had from the flyer what to bring to the character. They brought pieces of themselves to the character, and we were just able to build off of that. They were there, they were reliable, and they brought a lot more to the characters, and we were able to work on a lot of those nuances.
Being a part of this film was the best acting experience I've ever had in my life, and a lot of people were so nice to me, and I've had a lot of times where I cried because I just felt so touched to be in this film, and I felt so lucky, and the story of this film really fascinated me. It was a wonderful experience to be with everybody, and the cast and the crew. Everyone did a wonderful job.
The atmosphere on set was wonderful. It was very positive. I always felt very appreciated, which is always nice. And just in general, it was a very nice, relaxed set, which was a joy to work on.
It was a good experience. I enjoyed it. It was a pretty easy set to be on, and the people were wonderful, and The other actors, of course, were all wonderful, so yeah, I enjoyed it.
It was the best student film set I've been on, so I had a blast. It was a great time.
I think it went pretty well. We had some great actors and some fun locations. We got some really beautiful shots, and I really look forward to seeing how it edits together.
Some of my favorite memories on set were just the laughs. There were lots of laughs on set, and not just from bloopers, but from just being with each other on set and talking about each other's individual lives, individual projects. And a great memory of mine was Skidaway Island, filming there. All the scenes with Rebecca and her father running around playing with the Frisbee.
When we were filming on River Street and we were like trying to race against the sunset, and there was this guy in the background, and he was like in this whole like ninja kimono kind of get-up thing, and he had like this headband. And I remember as we start shooting, you know, Ashley and I are walking along, and all I can think of was like, okay, we're gonna walk down here, and then we're gonna go sit down here, and all I can think about was there's this ninja in the shots, and I'm very aware of it. And I don't think the DP likes this.
I think it was like the first day there when we went out onto the island and we had those just beautiful shots of the young actresses looking up, and the light was perfect naturally, and I love moments like that with natural light. And also that time when I threw the yellow Frisbee into the Savannah River was great.
Luckily we had two, so always have a backup plan.
All the food we had on set. We had Carlitos, we had some Panera coffee, you know, just the energy on set. We had a great team, so I had a really good time.
I really enjoyed working in the park that day. It was fabulous. And I think a lot of that is because it was my first encounter with everybody on the set, and everybody was very positive and very welcoming of me, which was really nice. And it happened to be a beautiful day.
The scene with Alda and Fia in the park, that was a very precious and very peaceful scene. That it's like I feel like everything was so quiet except Alda talking to me, and it was a very touching scene that she and I felt real connected.
Every day was a complete joy, and I would love to work with everybody on this cast and crew again. There are a lot of different stories nowadays of people finding lost family members and reconnecting with twins and people who claim to remember previous lives, and people who have had near-death experiences and seeing different things. And we have all of these questions about life after death, what happens when you die, and do you come back? And so, and really we don't know much, so it's really just up to interpretation, and we can take that creatively and make some pretty powerful stories with it.
That's a wrap!
Wrap.